The McLean County Arts Center kicks off its amateur exhibition tonight as part of downtown Bloomington's First Friday happenings. The show has been an annual tradition for nearly 100 years, giving avocational artists from all age groups and medium a chance to display their work in the Arts Center's Brandt Gallery. Retired Heartland Community College professor Tom Clemens is one of those artists. He was selected from hundreds of submissions to show his painting called Trout Stream. Clemens tells WGLT's Lauren Warnicki he first started painting in the mid-1970s.
We lived in Grand Forks, North Dakota, and I took up Norwegian rose mauling, which is a folk painting style. And I wanted to gravitate towards Swedish because that's part of my background. But there weren't any Swedish teachers at the time, so I took Norwegian there. And I painted about 10 years. And then because of family and new house and job, I just kind of put that on the back burner. And then in 2012, I saw an advertisement for a Swedish class, a Swedish style painting class, folk painting, in Decorah, Iowa, at the Folk Arts Center there, attached to Vesterheim Museum, which is the Norwegian American Museum there. So I took the class, and I took a class every year thereafter, because that was the first time they offered Swedish, which was a political battle between offering a Swedish class in a Norwegian facility. But
wait, can you say a little bit more about that? Let's hold on a second.
Well,
I always imagine the Scandinavians are very friendly with one another. But
yeah, nowadays. I took the class and I repeated it, not the same class, but different instructors every year until COVID struck. By that time, I had also picked up on online Swedish language classes because one of the things I wanted to do was to paint these larger panels with a proverb from the Swedish proverb and then interpret that into a scene. So I really got into it as a hobby. And I would give away whatever I had painted because Diane reinforced the idea I couldn't keep everything. The last couple of years, I decided to try some landscapes. And I did that using Norwegian or Swedish seed. But the painting I put into the contest now is, I call it Trout Stream. And it's based on a photo I took in Iowa of a trout stream. Anyway.
I want to pause there because I want to ask you more specifically about color because I don't know a lot about Swedish painting or the differences between Swedish and Norwegian painting, I will admit. But I understand that there is a particular palette that you work with that is part of this technique, right? Can you say a little more about that?
Well, when I paint in Scandinavian style, there's certain accepted colors for to match the tradition. Of course, there are always people pushing the boundaries on that. And that's part of the fun of it, is, of course, creating, not just doing the same old thing. For me, the main thing in art, of course, with color is light, how light hits it. And that's why the color is nuanced, is because what our brain sees and what our eye sees are two different things.
It sounds like it's such a playful space for you. So at what point do you say to yourself, that's it. You know, I did that, or this painting is finished. You know, how do you find these things into completion?
Okay, well, I'm going to compare it to what Stephen Spender said about poetry. You never finish a poem. You merely abandon it. It's just combining those colors in ways that produce the object as the eye sees it. And that's the challenge, to figure out. There's not a strict guide to that. You have to figure it out based on the picture I'm looking at. So,
what motivated you to submit Trout Stream into the exhibition? I mean, you mentioned the imperative from your wife to not have so much inventory in the house, but you know, why put yourself into the exhibition and why that landscape in particular?
If the word amateur hadn't been in it, I wouldn't have probably bothered. But I thought, well, it'd be nice to get some feedback on what I'm doing. And I had this Trout Stream painting, which I was still working on. I've been working on it for months to get the colors. So I'm working with trees, shadow, the stream itself, and I knew I had to figure out water. How do you make water look like water? And in this particular painting of the trout stream, I have the calm water on the side, the eddies, and then the idea of the current. So you just can't paint a blue stream and say, oh, this is a stream. It wouldn't look like anything like the stream. So it's the play of light. How do I get the light? And I think I probably worked on this painting almost every day for 5 months. When I saw the deadline for the contest, I said, I'm just about done with this. And if I get this done by next week, I'm going to put it in there just to see what the judge would say about what I'm doing with light on water. And so far, all is good that way.
Yeah. You started to get into this a little bit, but I want to pull the thread a little bit harder on what painting gives you. I'm hearing certainly an exploration of your heritage, of your cultural background. And apparently you and your wife are proof that Norwegians and Swedes can actually live together.
Yeah, it's called a mixed marriage.
Yeah.
From where we come from, up in North Dakota.
Yeah.
It's a mixed marriage.
Yeah. It's your hobby, but it sounds like it's maybe deeper than that. You're really interested in studying, in playing, in massaging that canvas and producing something. So what does it give you?
It gives me a different way of looking at the world. What it gives me is a sense of a connection to what's around me, to nature and to life. And I think the more we see the beauty in the world, and maybe the beauty and the ugliness, that we can learn to appreciate what side we want to be on. In terms of living every day with a sense of awe and living every day with a sense of wonder and exploration and not thinking that I just know everything I need to know. I always can learn something new that gives me the spark to keep on looking and living and breathing and interacting with people and with nature itself and all the little microcosms of nature that I see around me.
Before retiring from Heartland Community College, Clemens moved from the English department into an administrative role evaluating teachers. He snuck in some art training in the process by observing painting classes. Clemens now has a studio set up in his home so he can paint every day. He is 74 and says he'll keep doing it as long as his eyes and hands let him. Tom Clemens spoke with WGLT's Lauren Warnicki.